Hello and welcome to this short guide about how you can use a stacking mode to help reduce noise in your photos. We all know that the programs like Photoshop and Lightroom and Affinity and everything else are very good at reducing noise with their algorithms, but this is a slightly different way that might be useful for certain circumstances. And I'll give you three good examples at the end where this stacking mode noise reduction could well be quite useful. So let's jump into Photoshop and give it a whirl. So here we are in Lightroom. I've got 9 images that I took in the garage the other day. These were taken to very high ISO. It was 25,600, just so that the pictures would be quite noisy. The whole point of the thing is to show you how it can be reduced. So starting off with a very noisy image, we have 9 identical images just shot on burst mode, handheld, all the settings the same. So if we select all 9 images and then right click on the thumbnails and go to edit in and choose open as layers in Photoshop, and that will take us straight across to Photoshop with them opened as individual layers. Okay, so we've now got all 9 images opened as layers in the same file. And the first thing we need to do before we can use the noise reduction method is obviously to make sure that the images are all aligned carefully, because these were taken with handheld, no tripod, and that's part of the beauty of this process. So to do that, we need to go and select all of the layers like that, and then go up to edit and auto align layers. And Photoshop will use the auto program, and we say OK, and it'll align the layers pixel perfect. There we are, that's done that. So the process that we use is to use smart objects and smart layers. So with all these layers still selected and now they've been aligned together, we'll go over to the layer menu and come down to smart objects, and then we'll convert these layers into a smart object. Okay, so we can now see that that's converted those original 9 layers into one layer, and it's a smart object because there's a little icon in that bottom corner of the thumbnail. So one more step to go and then we're all finished. So now it's a smart object. We can go back to layers and smart objects. We've now got the options to go into stack mode towards the bottom of the menu there, and the mode that we want to use is median. The median process will compare the images and will eliminate the randomness, and the only random parts is the noise, so it generates a nice cleaner image for us to continue working with. And there we go, that's done the job. So that's now given us a cleaner image, which we can then take back to Lightroom. So we'll just save that image, which will transport that back into Lightroom when that's finished. Okay, so we go back to Lightroom, and there we are. So that's our new raw image that's been brought back in from Photoshop, saved as a TIFF file. So if we can compare that with one of the original images, and if I zoom in 1:1, so you can get a good idea of the noise. So that was the original image, very, very noisy, as I said, and the one that's been brought back from Photoshop is there. So there's the before, and there's the after. You could then carry on and do some more noise reduction on that in the usual way to get it nice and clean. So if we go down to the noise reduction panel, we can then probably just finish off the process and get it reasonably clean. So there we are. So that's the how-to. The question is, why would you want to do that? So 3 examples. Perhaps if you was in, let's say, a stately home where they don't allow flash photography, and you want to capture one of the rooms, one of the state rooms, but you need to have a very high ISO so that you can handheld the photograph. Well, do that. Take up the ISO so that you can handheld it, but then take a burst of images and bring them back into Photoshop and clean them up. Or perhaps a nighttime scene with some nighttime lights. We haven't got a tripod, so take a burst, whatever ISO that you're using, take a burst photograph, bring them back, clean them up. This example was probably quite difficult because it was so noisy. If your image is cleaner to begin with, the results are even better. But the third example, which is slightly different, is one where you can use that same process to clean up an image to remove people or cars. If you're doing a street scene and it's busy with passing traffic, you take a burst of several photographs, a slow burst, so you get some time in between each shot, take them into Photoshop, combine them in that way, so align the layers, convert it into a smart layer, and then using the layer menu and smart filters, choose the median option in stacking mode, and remove the irregularities, the things that have moved in the image, and it'll leave you the things that stayed the same, which is the scene. So you might find that useful. I don't know. It's certainly a quick and easy way of doing something, and you might like to try and give it a go. So hope you enjoyed that, and if you liked it, leave a good comment. Bye bye.